Bonjour, 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 bonjour. Which is the good camera? This one? This is the not so good camera? Hi, Mom. You support me in whatever I do. I appreciate it. Bonjour, bienvenue, super en diffusion. We are here solo jour du. We are approximately now 30 hours. Hour 30? Hour. How do you say 30? Anybody? 30. We're going to go with 30. 30. 30. This is Super en Diffusion. We are live on direct, and we are anticipating our first relay teams to come in a mere number of hours. We're going to speak more about this in just a second. Swords Athletics freestyle team out of Poland has been at the front the entire time, about 60K from Marseille. Right with them, Ale, not too far back. Running Stones is in the mix. Really Thin Pancakes. We have 4 freestyle teams. This is fairly unique. 4 freestyle teams at the top. And then our first OG teams, Salty Boys AC, Handshake, and then BBE, Marseille-based women's team, is also there. Top 5 or 6 teams based on their distance from Marseille. We're going to talk much more about Le Jeu de la Carte, the list, as well as... Wait, that's the map? As well as the list. He's in here getting a little loose. Speaking of... not speaking of anything. Listen, I'm actually most excited because we have a special guest here joining us, and I think it's not one, but 2 guests. And 2 guests that you might even call a duolo. And if you think you know what a duolo is, let me allow you to confirm. If you don't know what a duolo is, we're all going to learn together in just a moment. We're going to bring in some very special guests, I believe, people who should be no stranger to you or me. 1 second. Hold on. I think we've got them coming in now. And hello, James and Anna, a.k.a. the MCPOOLES. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Where are the 2 of you?
Oh, we're in Switzerland.
Beautiful, beautiful. Are you near the mountains in Switzerland?
We are. We're just on the border of Switzerland and France. We're in Martigny, which is people know it's like the hill over the scene in the Chamonix, and we have Chamonix there.
That sounds beautiful. You know what you could do? You could head to Chamonix today and then head to Marseille right away from there. You can meet us maybe by Sunday if you'd like to.
You know what? There's crazier things happen, but not this time.
No, of course, of course. Well, we miss y'all, and we often talk about the story of the 2 of you who both ran solo together last year, Chamonix 25. Before we talk about the race, I believe that the 2 of you had a relationship with the town of Chamonix years before, we started doing this run. And last week we hosted an event for local folks to welcome them in, give them gratitude for always, hosting us and to try to learn from them on how we can be like really mindful custodial visitors when we come into the town. I'd love to hear any reflections you have on like what is the spirit of Chamonix? Why is that place so special?
Yeah, we heard it. Well, some feedback. We heard it was amazing. We had our friends who went and said that they really appreciated you guys putting something on. I think it means a lot of people come to Chamonix and for their holidays and don't really, necessarily fully respect that it is a mountain village that goes all year round, not just for UTMB week and for holidays. So yeah, it was apparently super feedback. And I mean, we've been going there. I've been going there skiing for 20 plus years, and initially I went there as a winter sports place because I hadn't really discovered the world of trail running was pretty formative at that point, and I don't think people really went to the mountains much. Certainly British people didn't. And then Anna and I have been going there since pretty much for 10 years. And every summer, or as much as we can get there, because anyone who's been will know, it's a fantastic place. It's the epicenter of mountain sports, to be honest, in Europe. So, if you've been, the views are incredible, and it's just a great town.
Yeah, I think 2018, James took me up Mont Blanc. So to have that sort of experience that's non-running. And sort of immerse yourself into the valley. But very, very much, you know, a lot of our friends, you know, across the globe go to Chamonix for, you know, for racing, but also, you know, a lot of the locals we know from, you know, eating the restaurants and having good coffee there, and have become our friends. And, you know, going back isn't just about running on the trails. It's about catching up with friends and community, you know, across the world, which is amazing. And I think last year was just another twist on, you know, a place we love so much. You know, we took my parents out there 3 years ago. We'd spoken about it so much with them over the years, and you know, James did an amazing job of, you know, taking them to the hot spots, and you know, they felt what we felt. And I think it's not just about, you know, the movement, it's actually how it makes you feel. And it's so nice that my parents have had that experience there and met some of our friends, you know, while they visited it, you know, a couple of years ago. But yeah, it's like home from home.
Yeah, yeah, and I love that you touch on the fact that it is a. I mean, James, you said it, it's a small mountain village that is delicate, and obviously, so many people come in for one reason or another, and then they leave. But like you said, it also seems to have a place that has an incredible amount of openness to develop those relationships that can last as you go and return time and time again. So between the two of you, I mean, very pedigreed athletes and runners. And I think within TSP and TSP lore, you both hold very, very special places. James, you've run all kinds of different race experiences all over the world with us. Anna, you are the Chamonix women's solo record holder. You ran solo, self-supported. I'm curious to hear from you both. What makes Chamonix solo unique as a race experience, not just within the TSP options, but I think overall from the offering of ultra marathons?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, with any of the, you know, TSP, one of the most unique things, irrespective of the race, is the fact that you can create the adventure you want to live. You know, because you guys set up the start and you set up a finish, and then how you get to those from that point to the end is entirely up to you. And I think that's always, for me, has been the attraction of picking your own route, being adaptive on the way. You know, if you have to change the route, if you have to, I mean, you know, one of the most challenging things I think of Chamonix Marseille is not the terrain, it's the logistics of getting yourself from the start to the finish. And you know, the way of France is not it's not the way of LA, where you can find a gas station at 24/7. It's, you know, everything closes at 8 p.m. You know, our challenge last year was finding we were self-supported, but we didn't sleep outside in the wild. We actually booked hotels and motels, whatever we could find, and they all closed. Everyone's like, check-ins at 8 or nothing, and you're like, well, we won't be there till 11 because we're running, and so they just cancel your booking. I think on the Thursday before we finished on the Friday, we had 8 bookings. You know, but we're just like running along, ringing hotels, and they're like, no. And there's no like, you know, you can get check-in. So, you know, but I think that's part of it. It's a full embrace of French culture. You go through the tiniest little places. Maybe tell the story about our favorite random town we don't even know the name of.
Yeah, I think just before that, I think having, you know, I've only done, you know, Chamonix to Marseille, so I have that experience. But no, not in that respect. But I've supported James behind the scenes and seen, you know, how he's kind of navigated from sort of start to finish. So in the planning to the doing, and then sort of him sharing, you know, what that's been like in, you know, Ale to LV, but also Atacama, and that sort of post-grad challenge, you know, that is, you know, again, a completely different experience. But I think, you know, Chamonix to Marseille was such a contrast from running CCC the year before, you know, and that
Chamonix, which is one of the UTMB
races. So it's like on the other end of the continuum. Although, you know, equally, you can have your own adventure. I think it's how you approach it. So, you know, putting on a bib doesn't define you. You're in movement. But for me, I think that freedom for TSP is that, yeah, you can be as fast as you want. You can be as slow as you want. You can basically rock up and, you know, other than, hopefully everyone takes some consideration to their safety and alongside respecting the environment that you're in. But I think that's, that exploration, that, sort of curiosity to do something that's not restricted by, sponsors, people. You can, and last year was, a great example of that. And we were, I think we got up at, I think actually the sort of pre-story to that, obviously David, who won last year, he was kind of checking in on us. I think by day 2 we were still ahead of him, and he just couldn't work out why are they, where are they? So he was checking out James's Instagram, and he's like, right, they're leaving at 4 a.m. I'm going to leave at 2. And we just heard this, this Italian spitting down the road coming up, sort of calling our names. And he's like, how are you here? I left 2 hours ago. And I think it's those moments of, you certainly don't get that usually in a normal sort of race format. And then I think, 3rd day in, we're going through this really tiny village, and everybody's out getting their coffees, I guess. It was 7 a.m. So thankfully we could get fed, and it was everybody saying good morning, ale to us, and it must have been about 10 people going through this small, really tiny village, and we were just like, we just want to stay and live here now. Like, this is like the happiest place in the world. And you just capture those moments. So on the moments where it's kind of, it's hard and it's, you question what you're doing, in the next breath, you're kind of rolling into the spirit of Chamonix and the French people. And, so that was really sort of prevalent last year.
If you'd like to go in on a small house in that town, let me know. I'd love to have a space to go to that felt like home. So you just let me know.
God, you know what? Unfortunately, can't afford anything in Chamonix anymore. But when we went 20 years ago, you could buy like one of the little studios for like, it was because the history of Chamonix is obviously it was the epicenter of like hardcore climbing, like mountaineering, hardcore skiing. So people would just go there like dirtbag. You could get like a bed. It was pre-Euro, so I think you could get like a bed for maybe like £1 a night or something. She's something really crazy.
Wow.
10 francs a night, and you have to like a bunk room with 10 other smelly skiers, and but all those places are gone now. Everything's like bougie, as you know. It's all bougie. There's even like the dirtbag seasonaire bars and things are all like now being transformed into somewhere nice. So but we're definitely in. If we win some sort of Euro Millions or something, you'll be first on our room. You've got a room.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I got 2 more quick questions for y'all, and then I'll let you get back to the beautiful environment that you're in. The first is, so we still have 8 solo runners who are out making their way in. This is day 6. We had 1 runner who called it last night, but otherwise 11 of the 12 are either finishing or they're still out. So really strong field. And I think to what you just said, Anna, it's like so many folks are like, I'm going to savor this experience all the way. We're going to get there, but I want to take all this in. Y'all having done this a year ago, if you were to offer any words of wisdom or anything for those folks that are still out there based on your experience, what would you say?
I think you're always capable of more than you think you can do, and the fact that they turned up at the start line at the church and put themselves in a headspace to be out there. I know there's some that are being supported, some are not. You're almost in Marseille, but the mentality is that you keep moving forward, you're going to get to Marseille, whether it's slow, fast. I know Malcolm's got 4 solo team. We never know where Malcolm might be or what time he started. But I think just listening to him on his pre-recording with you, he comes back every year because he's doing something different from the previous, and he's navigating that exposure for everybody to be embraced into the family of TSP. And I think it's reminding, they should all be reminded that it's family. Everyone's rooting for them. It's no mean feat. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it, and everybody isn't doing it. So I think that's
Yeah.
for me.
Preach, huh? Yeah. Just, it doesn't. The time doesn't matter. You just keep going, keep pushing on. Every footstep is closer to the end, and getting down into that sea, which is super refreshing and so beautiful. I assume it's at the same-ish place.
Yes.
It changed last year anyway.
Route is different, but the finish is the same.
Amazing. So here, the beautiful beach, and I mean, like it's a life changing. Every time you do one, it's a life changing experience. And so soak up the life changing moments, because
And no one cares who wins.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Apart from when it's Beal, and of course we care about you, Beal. We do care, honestly.
Yeah, well done, Beal.
But it is more an a finish time and a pinning a bib on, and whether you're 5th or 7th or 9th, or no one. That's not the most important part of the Speed project. And as you know, it's about taking part, having a great experience, and making some friends along the way, and living life to the fullest.
Yeah, that's right. Appreciate that, y'all. One more question for you. I don't know if y'all have seen that we've been asking folks questions from the Proust questionnaire.
No, we have not.
Okay, great.
Now we're very worried. Now we wish we'd done some revision.
No, yes, okay. So last question. So are you familiar with the Proust questionnaire?
No.
Okay, so Marcel Proust, French writer, literary figure, he answered a series of questions a couple times in his life when he was young, and they were big life questions, broad questions. Somehow that list became known as the Proust questionnaire. And so we picked 12, and when I have guests in studio, I have them roll the dice, as we always do. And so I'm going to roll the dice on your behalf, if that's okay, and I'm going to ask you a corresponding question.
Yeah, fire away.
8. Question number 8 is, what do you most value in friends?
Loyalty.
What is it?
Loyalty.
Loyalty. Yeah.
Is it just one answer?
You're free to share as you want, and then I was just waiting for James to jump in as well as he's thinking about it.
Yeah, I was just trying to think if I had any friends. If I did, well, I would say, like, people. It's not one word, but people who say yes. Yeah, that's what you want. It's the people who you say, "Hey, do you want to run from Chamonix to?" This is the origins of the Speed project. You know, you were there. Do you guys want to run from LA to Las Vegas? Yes. Those are the friends you need. Just the friends that not. I'm being facetious, but like generally, people who are positive friends who say yes. And want to be those people.
Yeah, they kind of lift. They lift you.
For sure.
Add to you.
Well, every time I see y'all, every time we interact, y'all are an uplift for me, for sure. From Los Angeles and Manhattan Beach and Venice all the way to the Alps and Switzerland and France. Appreciate you, Anna, James, for joining. The #1 solo duolo.
Love to Niels, the team, and everyone was there. We miss you, and it was challenging not to be there this year, but we've loved to vicariously follow that everyone who's out there doing it, teams or relays, and we'll continue to do so until Sunday. Go enjoy that party.
For sure. Thank you both. Enjoy your holiday and your travels. See you soon. Goodbye. Thank you to the MCPOOLES Solo Duolo for joining us. Just great folks, and always a pleasure to be around them. Again, they ran Chamonix to Marseille last year, both solo, self-supported, maybe dually supported. So they finished, and Anna is the current record holder for solo women. Really nice to chat with Anna and James. We did take a little bit of time there, so I'm going to do a quick reading of the list, and then we're going to take a look at the map, just so we have eyes on this before we wrap this episode of Super en Diffusion. So, Swords Athletics, I told you, is now 50K out just in this call. Ale and Really Thin Pancakes are within 100K. And then our first OG teams right now, we still are looking at Handshake and Salty Boys, look like they're neck and neck. And then BBE, our women's team, is about 110, 115K out. So everybody's pushing in. Let's take a quick look at the map so everybody knows not just what we're talking about, but where we're talking about. Good stories, you gotta have transparency. Transparency is important, y'all. When I'm sharing something with you, I'm sharing something with you. Okay. Good stories have not only characters, but locations. Okay. Here we are. This is Gap. Not sponsored. From Gap, folks, head down along the route to along the river here. Cisteron, we talked about this. Cisteron, beautiful mountain pass and all that. This morning, we saw teams passing through here. At this point, I would say about half the field has arrived in Cisteron and is headed south. So they cross the river, go through a tunnel, go through the town, and continue on south from here. And checkpoint 3, again, is further south, which we will be looking for folks to arrive at, I think, in the coming hour or so. And then I believe that we can officially be on relay team finisher watch very soon, because I think that we're going to have a finisher. How's this? Is this good? I think we're going to have a finisher, in the coming hour. So we'll be back with more Super en Diffusion on the hour, every hour, à la heure, tout le jour. We'll also be running updates if you want to follow hourly, and then we'll also drop in continuous coverage when we can. But yeah, excited to see how the rest of the afternoon unfolds. Thank you, James. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, all of mes amis, for joining. Merci, au revoir, à bientôt.